1 second. One second. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right, let's start. So standing up, and deep inhale, stretch out and up, open up. And then on the exhale, also stretch away from yourself. So sometimes when I stretch up, like I just am in my stretch and it's just me moving. And then sometimes I can sort of get into that stretch where I'm really like the first stretch of the morning where you really elongate. If you think of like an animal, when they get up to move, they do that big back stretch usually before they walk around after they've been laying down. So thinking of that, like just inviting in that big extra stretch that's happening sort of at a deeper level. Even if you take a little bit longer and you're up, reaching into that space, or like if you've just woken up and you're stretching your own body. I feel like we kind of turn off that reflex a lot as humans, but it's a really good one to keep opening up our fascia and keep connecting our nervous system, extending out so we're not kind of closing into our bodies, but we're able to really radiate out and open up. And then let's just do a quick shake and bounce, looking around, taking in the room around you, even as you're shaking and bouncing. And then let's go with the twist, spiraling one way and then the other, looking around behind you. Letting your hands hit your body gently. So you're getting a little bit of like a drop of water into a pond as your hand hits your hip, just letting that that movement radiate into your tissue. And then come into center, stretch your arms up over your head, push up through the heels of the hands, side stretch one way and then the other. Rib cage, lungs, heart mobilizing, diaphragm moving. And the diaphragm is like a really, really important muscle. It's right in there right under our lungs and our heart. And it's like sort of the bottom of our rib cage, which in the top, like my ribs are here in the top and down there in the back. So it's kind of it's connected in on an angle, but it moves like it's moving like this, right? The connected edges, it's not just going up and down like an elevator. It's moving more like a sea creature, like a jellyfish or something like that. Like there's this really ripply movement available in there. And it's also sliding against our organs. So let's just take our hands on the edge of our ribs and move our ribs a little bit from side to side. So you're getting this sliding. Try to keep your lower body stable so you're not shifting your pelvis, but you're shifting your rib cage one way and then the other. And letting the smooth surface of the diaphragm slide across your liver. Oh, is it your spleen? I think so. Liver, spleen, stomach coming down through there. Relax and just a circle with your pelvis, circling around. And change direction, other way, freeing up your head-tail connection. So as you're circling your spine, there's freedom in your cranium, freedom in your rib cage, freedom in your pelvis. Try not to clamp down on your organs, right? Sometimes we think, oh, I gotta try not to brace all the time. Like you might need to brace if you're going to pick up some heavy object or a small child or your big fat cat, whatever you're going to pick up. You might need a little bit of bracing, but we don't need to walk around with bracing. So we want to have fluidity and movement in our gut body. All right, let's take it down to the floor and work with some more of that fluidity and movement in all of our body. Joints, fascia, nervous system, organs, all of it is getting this movement, all of it is getting this hydration. And as we change relationship to gravity, coming from standing down to the floor, Now we're putting different demands on the tissue in our body as the water in our body understands that down is there. The earth is underneath us. So let's just roll side to side, relaxing into the floor, melting and softening. I already just had something like little pop inside. So inviting your own body to do its own chiropractic adjustment as you move, letting it come back into, or come into a healthier, more resilient alignment, so that we're not blocking traffic and movement within our bodies. We're letting the movement happen for our maximal health. And this roll could be much slower. Like if my shoulders are kind of tight, if I really slow it down and let my head relax into the floor, I can let that tissue soften up a bit. I'm telling my shoulders they don't need to hold on so much. They can let go of some of that tension. Just letting that ease out. And then coming in, and we'll just do the lower body with an opening and closing. So 2 separate legs, one opens and then it closes. And we're getting this nice spiral through the spine. You can feel yourself reaching out through your fingers, maybe waking up the fingers, feeling into this core distal relationship, center to edge, as we spiral right there in our center, right? So inside that, in that area, like where we're spiraling, I can really feel it in there. Like we have a lymph node, a big lymph node, cisterna chyli. So as I'm moving, I'm encouraging that movement of the lymph in my body. I already did a whole lymph flush this morning when I woke up, so I'm not adding it right now, but just in a lot of my classes, I teach it. And you can find it all over the internet, the 6 points of the lymph flush. Let's cross and take it deeper. Massaging out again. As I am doing the spiral, I'm feeling release in the space between my shoulder blades. So like in my rhomboids, all the little muscles or big muscles that are under my scapula, under my shoulder blades, are getting a little bit of movement as I do this twist. There's some pull and some compression happening. And that kind of pulling and compression on the tissue is giving it resilience. Let's come back in, and we're going to roll up through your spine all the way up. Push with your feet so your chest comes towards your chin, and then roll it all the way down, taking it down. And rolling it up through your spine, all the way up. And then rolling it back down. So mobilizing your spine, let's add a little bit more. You're going to roll up, you're going to push with your feet so your chest comes to your chin. You can see this little push here. And then I'm going to pull with my legs and roll it down through my spine all the way down to the bottom. At the bottom, I'm going to arch up my waist. So creating space under my waist and then flattening it out on the exhale, rolling it all the way up. Pushing back, chest to chin, pulling forward, knees away from your head, and roll it down through your spine. Arch and open, let the gut body open up. Inhale, exhale, flatten it out, roll it up. Inhale, push, chest to chin, exhale, pull, knees away from your head, roll it down through your spine. Inhale at the bottom and arch, exhale, curl, roll it up, push it back, pull it away from your head and roll down. 2 more, arch, exhale, curl, roll it up, mobilizing through the spine, mobilizing the tissue through your torso. Arch, and creating this sort of rippling wave that's moving up and then moving down. And then let's go up, just unfold, press up, circles with your hips. Circling around, fairly big, mobilizing, back of the body working, front of the body opening up, and change direction. A lot of times I'm in classes and people say, squeeze your core. I don't think that's a great directive. It might be under like certain circumstances, but if you're like doing this, squeezing your core is just going to tense you up. So don't think that you need to squeeze your core. Just let your back do what it has to do. And come in, roll it down. And when we do all that squeezing and holding and bracing, like we're bracing for something, we're but we're not feeling into like fluidity and movement. And that kind of armoring of our body kind of shuts us down to being really participatory in the world and in our body. Let's take it into, or shuts down our sensation. Tension masks the sensation, which means it's masking our awareness, or our awareness of what we're really feeling. And it also blocks flow. So we want to keep releasing it whenever we can. Wiggle around in your happy baby. So I can like roll it through my spine in my baby. So I'm getting that curl and kind of massaging out my waist, that area of my lower back, or I can open wide and roll from side to side, massaging out the back of my hips. I'm not going for my hugest hamstring stretch here. If you're tighter, you can also do this just hands on knees. It doesn't have to be grabbing your feet. Find a position that works for you. And most people like do happy baby with the hands on the outside, but I just feel better with my hands on the inside. So I usually change it or over the top. Oh, wiggle around, let yourself open up. And then you're gonna open legs out to the side and just roll from side to side, letting that massage through your back. Massaging through the back of your hips and your glutes and stretching your inner thighs. And then coming in, we're going to internally rotate one leg at a time, big spiral in. Thinking of the fact that our leg is connecting into our whole torso. So like our leg isn't this separate thing. It is interwoven, continuous with our torso. Our psoas is connecting into our lesser trochanter, which is the top notch of our inner thigh, right in here. So psoas connecting into the bone of our leg and then going up the inside of our spine, connecting onto those little vertebrae. And let's come in. If you have weights, grab your weights. I have 2 3-pound weights. I'm going to use both of them in my hands at the same time and circle around. Knees are pigeon-toed, or sorry, feet and knees are pigeon-toed and knock knees. Circling around. Inhale, open. Exhale, come up. Using your breath. Feeling your body working as efficiently as possible. So you're not driving the car with the brakes on, not adding a ton of extra tension. You're just doing what you have to do to move, change direction the other way. So I'm sitting here with these very bright pants on, and I have like all these paintings around me. And because I'm wearing the bright pants, I'm noticing in my paintings where the color matches. And like, you can't see it so well on your screen, but there's like a yellowy color up in the corner of that icosahedron painting. And there's a painting over there, another space painting that has really bright colors. And like, I'm feeling my harmony with those paintings, which is interesting. Like just noticing what you notice in your awareness. Like I normally don't wear this color, but I love it. And so it's interesting to be like, oh, I'm in harmony with that painting over there and that upper corner and the bottom corner of that one. Let's take our weights up, internally rotate and externally rotate. Like the richness of life is all around us if we just give ourselves the opportunity to notice it. In, rotate in, and spiral. And really simple things like colors make me really happy. So yes, these were a birthday present from Anthony. Let's take our hands and bend the elbows out and then push up, bend it out and push up. If your weights are too heavy, which I mean, I think these are probably light enough well, they're definitely light enough for me, but if you have heavy weights, you can also do this with no weight. And we're going to change it. You're going to take one hand down and one hand up and then go the other way. So just a little bit of movements. Doesn't have to go all the way down to the floor, but a little bit so you're getting a little internal and external rotation right there in the joint. If the weight is too much, get rid of the weight. And I'm not going all the way down to the floor. I'm just going part way, like to a 45-degree angle on the top and the bottom. Then we're going to take out the weights and we're going to change the exercise. I'm going to move so you can see me like this. I'm gonna have my hands here. I'm gonna take my thumb to the floor. I'm gonna turn my head towards it. Come through center, thumb to the floor and turn your head. So both hands are spiraling, both thumbs are touching the floor. You're externally rotating on the side you're looking towards and you're internally rotating on the other side, just spiraling in. Looking in one direction, spiraling, and looking at your palm of your hand in the other direction. Spiraling one way, spiraling the other way. And then we're going to do one more thing here. I'm just going to stay in this relationship because I think you can see better here. You're going to take your hands like elbows out to the sides, and you're just going to reach up over your head and then bend the elbows out to the side. So hands are just trying to stay on the floor, reaching over your head and then coming to your sides. This is really not about, we're not trying to get any kind of burn here. We're trying to soften the tissue and let the fascia and the nerves be more expansive. So we're doing it in a pretty relaxed way. We're just letting the movement. So it's because we have a different relationship with gravity, right? We did the stretches in the beginning where we were breathing with our arms up over our head. Now, what does it feel like to do this with your arms trying to stay as relaxed as possible on the floor? And then feel what's happening in your ribs and your diaphragm. And some people would say, like, tuck your ribs in. Don't tuck your ribs in right now. Just let them move. Let them do what they want to do. And come in. That's enough of that. So just different ways. When our body's in a different relationship to gravity, it's going to be a different exercise. And the tissue has to respond in a different way. And we don't, like, sometimes the value is in really soft movement so our nervous system can let go. If we're always doing hard things, like our nervous system and our fascia is getting a message, like, okay, I have to, do this extra work. But if we start to let our body do some of the really light, easy things, easy, air quotes, it might be really hard to relax onto the floor doing that. But if we let our tissue do it in a way that we're not pushing, we're allowing and we're opening, that can be really beneficial and helpful. So we've been, I don't know, I feel like I was really taught to believe, like, you got to work so hard and blah, blah, blah in physical fitness. And sometimes you actually have to work really soft and gentle so you can let the system open up. You're not forcing it to open up, you're allowing it to open up. Let's flip over onto hands and knees. And take elbows down to the floor, come up onto your tippy fingers, and then lower the heel of the hand. Elbows down, up, tippy fingers, and lower, heel down, elbows down, up, through the, we're working sort of a kinetic chain, the joint of the fingers to the hand, and then the wrist, and then the elbows, and then coming back up. Trying to keep your weight a little bit over your hands so that you're bearing some weight there. You're giving yourself some weighted movement. And this weighted movement, again, is just going to be building bone density and building tissue resilience, right? We're giving it, if it's within the scope of doable. Then let's come in, take one hand in, the other hand is just going to open up, reach for the ceiling, and then bring it down, open up, switch, and bring it down. We're going to change it. You're going to do one backstroke, other side, backstroke, letting your body and chest open up to that side and bring it down. Just let's go 3 times in this direction. So we're swimming through the space as we're in this tabletop. This is our third one. We're going to change direction. We're going to go from back to front crawl. 1, open up, look toward the ceiling, 2, and then last one, 3, and 3. And let's take it down. It's been really foggy up here and the sun is just starting to burn off the fog this morning. It's like, I don't know, when it's all foggy like that, it's kind of beautiful. There's like a quietness. All right, so let's come onto our forearms. Forearm plank, pushing forward and backward, head forward, heels back. Bend one knee to the floor at a time, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Twisting underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do one more thing. 8 legs up, alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and drop it down. All the way into the floor, bend your knees, let your legs fall from side to side, massaging through your quads, relaxing your tail, relaxing your spine, breathing, feeling into your heartbeat. And the relationship of your heartbeat and your breath. So our lungs are our heart is nestled in between our lungs. And as we breathe, our lungs are sort of massaging our hearts, right? There's this interrelated movement, not just of the blood getting the oxygen from the lungs and then coming through the heart, but also this hugging, right? The lungs are hugging the heart. So when we feel into that, just feeling into that spaciousness and loving resilience between our lungs and our heart. Opposite arm to leg. Inhale up, exhale down, using your breath. Reaching out and away. Trying to feel your quad coming up off the floor. So think of lifting the back of the leg, lifting your hamstring. And let's take the hands next to the chest, arching all the way up, opening the front of your body, taking it back down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up. This time, bend your knees, round your spine, take it back. Let your back release for a second, and then slowly chin and chest to the floor and come through. And you're going to arch all the way up again. Arch, 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 open, tail bends, take it back, round your spine. Take a big breath down there in your child's pose. And then chest and chin to the floor and come up and through. Arch. You can curl this back into your child's pose. Take a breath there. Breathe deep down into your belly. And then chest and chin to the floor. Press it up. And last one. Take it down to your child's pose. Breathe and relax and just wiggle. Free up your spine. And then roll it up. And let's come back onto our backs. Hello. This is my big kitty. I got to engage my core to pick this guy up. All right, let's take your legs up to the ceiling, pointed toes, big circles, big leg circles, opening out and down and flexing to come up. Open it out, take it down and flex. They can be big or small. Really work with what feels good to you. Up, open it out, take it down. Two more. So I'm letting my butt peel up off the floor. So my lower back is curling, but you don't have to do that. That's just an option. Like I'm doing that because I need that extra massage and stretch in my spine right now. Last one. And then release. Just give it a shake. Let everything soften. Shake out your arms as well. Free up your spine, free up the head tail so you're hopping around, jiggling, loose and easy. And let's take a heel rock from there. So you're going to dig your heels into the floor. And then this helps if you're wearing socks, it helps if you're on a mat. If you're on like a smooth floor with socks on, you'll slide too much to get the dig. Let go. Let this send a ripple and wave up through your body. Let out some sound. Let a big sigh out. Maybe one more time. Shaking out, just letting any tension in your body melt away, or any extra tension. There's always going to be different little tensions in our body, but any excess stuff that you do not need to be holding on, let it go. I want to do just a little heart opening exercise. You can use a pillow or a block. The blocks are like, if you have a block, it's kind of big. And I even have a small block, and it's not that I can't arch more, but I want to arch in a way that my body can soften and open. So it might be better to use a pillow. So I'm going to show you my two options. I have this pillow, I have this block. If I do it with the pillow, and the thing is, if you want the tissue to have the gentleness to open, sometimes working with something soft and relaxing gives you the capacity to open, right? Like generally, if you push someone, they aren't going to open up more, right? It's like you allow people to open up. We don't force it. We let it happen. So yeah, here's the pillow version, and it's just behind my, it's kind of like below my shoulders, right behind my chest, so that the front of my sternum has a chance to kind of open up. And in there, I'm just going to create little wave movements. So it's small, but I'm trying to invite in this wave. So our rib cage, the bones of our ribs and the cartilage in our ribs and our lungs underneath should have quite a capacity for movement. And if it's kind of stuck and blocked, we don't want to force it to open too fast, because then we're going to tear or injure things. So we want to take our time. You could do this with a block and get a much bigger arch. And if you're younger, you might feel like you need to do that. Or if you're used to doing a lot of really intense back bending. But let's just do it kind of soft and small, and just see if you can send some rippling and some waves through there. Not adding a lot of tension, but letting your body kind of move with the fluidity. This is a weird way of putting it, but almost like peristalsis is your gut body doing the moving the food down through your body, right? The little contract and release, contract and release. So imagining kind of like that kind of movement, not that it's contract and release, but that you're letting your body ripple and wave in a different way than like, I'm engaging, I'm engaging, I'm engaging. You're letting it be soft and fluid. Just seeing if you can invite in a little bit of a wave pattern into the front of the rib cage and lungs. And I'm using no force, but just gentleness to let it move. And then inviting in that pattern. So once the pattern's in there, once my body goes, oh, this is how that happens, things can free up more. And that can take a long time. Like that can take years to get things to open up. It's not like, oh, I did it once and now I know it and it all makes sense. Bodies take time. So just letting that open up, heart, lungs, and you could even just lay there. But if we lay there and we add micro movement, we're giving it this internal massage that might be soft and gentle. And this is something that you could spend a little bit of time doing. We aren't going to spend the rest of the class doing it, but I just wanted to throw it in there, especially as people spent so much time kind of folded forward and collapsed in their chests. Finding a time to open that up in a soft, gentle way without forcing it would be a worthy pastime. Let's come onto our sides, up on our elbows with our knees bent. We're going to inhale, lift, exhale, spiral, looking through. Inhale, open, and exhale, coming down. Inhale, up, exhale, twist. Inhale, open, exhale, down. Lift, spiral, open, down. Lift, there's Peapod, and down. Lift, and don't worry if you've never seen Peapod before, she is a Manx cat. She was born with that little tiny tail. That is what Manx cats have. They are from the Isle of Man. We're going to go up and stay, and you're just going to go up and down with the top leg. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come down. Take the bottom knee forward, the top leg back. Side stretch here. So you're stretching towards your legs, and you're going to look down and then spiral and open up. Down towards your leg, up and open. It may not be a huge spiral going up. Again, we're moving the lungs, heart, and diaphragm inside. And take it down to the other side, flip it around. So starting with the first part of this. Inhale up, exhale spiral, inhale open, exhale down. Lift, twist, use your breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, up, twist, open, up, spiral. 4 more. 3, 2. And the next one, we're just going to stay up. Oh, now here's Squeaky Deaky. All 3 of them coming in. He's right under the camera. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it down. Bottom leg forward, top leg back. Side stretch. Curling forward. Opening up. Use your breath. Take it deep to your side again. Open it up, and let's open up into a straddle. We'll take our hands behind our butts. You're going to flex, lift, and arch, and then point, curl backwards. So we're not trying to go forward, we're just trying to round the spine. So it's like a seated cat-cow. Point and curl, flex and arch. I'm kind of lifting my butt up off the floor here just a little bit, arching and point and curl. Creating space and resilience in your spinal cord, in your between your vertebrae, so your little cushy discs are like marshmallows supporting the spine. Letting things readjust for resilience. Being in sort of a dynamic relationship with your own body, so it's not just objectified from the outside, it's not separate from you, it is you. You are your body mind, and will continue to be it for the rest of your life. As long as you are living alive in this body on the planet, you're going to be in this body. Let's come back in and just circle rib cage. Again, rib cage, lungs, and heart circling around. Allowing the movement of the heart, unblocking anything in there that's holding you back. Change direction. Kindness and gentleness for your own body. And also hard stuff sometimes. Like I'm all for the hard stuff too. This is just kind of like the resilience pack so that we can do other things without getting injured, without getting, putting our body into too much stress because it's not ready to do things. So we're just opening up the patterns so that there's freedom inside or availability to movement. Let's roll from side to side, massaging through your butt. And then you're going to open up and take it down to the floor. Arching, opening, chest, lungs, heart. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, open, open, and release. Open it up, and take it down. Open and open. We're going to stay on this side. You're going to come up, elbow to knee, and then you're going to reach down and reach your leg back. So you're spiraling, and then you're kicking back down to the floor. Up, twist, reach it out. Twist, reach it out. Twist, reach it out. So this is a nice contralateral pattern. We're crossing our body. And we're also in a very different relationship to gravity than we are most of the time. And out. And last one. Reach your leg out in the back. Let's flex and point. Just reaching through your leg. Going flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. And release. Switch it over to the other side. Coming around. So elbow is going to come in, elbow and knee, and then reach back, take it to the floor. Up and down, up, down, up, down, up. down, full breathing, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, last one, up, take it down, stay there, flex and point in the back, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and come up. One reason to do those flex points back there is often when our leg is out there behind us, we don't have as much awareness of it as when it's in front of us. So, and that's one of the reasons why we want to have like access to thinking about three-dimensional space and using the three-dimensional space so that we become more aware of our back space. What is happening in the back of our body? What is happening behind us? And how can we allow ourselves to come back into our own body? So we're not just always like shoved forward into what our phones or into our screens or into whatever it is out there, but we're able to just return to ourself. So like on a tissue level, a lot of things are driving us forward, right, into small spaces, especially the more screen time we do on a computer or a phone. This is what's happening to your awareness, right? It's narrowing in, it's shooting forward. When your awareness and focus are doing that, it's shaping inside of your body, right? Because we're spending a lot of time there. So your fascia is going to form to support this. So we want to make sure that we're opening it back up, taking in the whole environment often, taking big deep breaths often. Yeah, the cell phone thing is not healthy for our body, like on a physiological level. Surprise! Let's take it into all fours, open your hands wide, and make circles with your chest. Again, rib cage, lungs, and heart, mobilizing. And change direction. And then coming in, let's go opposite arm to leg. So contralateral pattern. All the contralateral patterning stuff is really great for our nervous system. Like we were made to do that. There's the squeak. He's actually coming into view. So we're going to have opposite arm to leg up, take it out to the diagonal, bring it in and fold it down. Up, find the diagonal, into midline, fold it down. Up, out, in, switch. 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 Up, out, in. Let's send a wave through our spine. So from tail to head, rippling up. Just feeling into the movement as it ripples through, rolling through your body. Then you can change direction, head to tail. Great. And then let's take it to a downward dog. Walking through your feet in your dog, bend one knee and then the other. Heels are going to lift high, scoop your belly in, roll it forward into a plank. And then drop your head, push, roll it up to the ceiling, lower your heels. Heels high, scoop your belly in, round your spine. Roll it forward, find your plank, drop your head, push with your arms, roll it up to the ceiling, lower down. We're going to add to it, lift your heels, scoop it, roll it forward, come into a side plank, and then back, switch it to the other side, and then back, drop your head, roll it up to the ceiling, lower your heels. Heels high, scoop your belly in, roll it forward. Come to the other side first, and plank, and then open, switch, bring it back, drop your head, roll it up to the ceiling, take your right leg as high as it can go, just stretch it up there, reach, 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 open, 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 and release it down, left leg up as high as it can go, reach, 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 open, 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 and release it down, right leg again, bend your knee, knee to the ceiling, hip opening, and release it down, left leg, high as it can go, bend your knee to the ceiling, and release, coming all the way down onto your knees. If this hurts to be on your knees and padding will help, just double up your mat. We're gonna bend, taking it down, and then just back up. Bending and pressing up. If you want to make it easier, just lean forward, or if you want to make it harder, take it back on the diagonal. And you can also take it back on the diagonal. Oh, use your hands. I start to arch. I'm trying to do this in a hinge, but any version that works for you. Last one. Good, and taking it down onto your side one more time. This is like this is the transitions class. Move, another transition, another transition. Remembering that in life, the transitions are happening all the time. Okay, so knee into your chest, up to your shoulder, reach it down and back, and come in. Up, out, down, and in. Up, out, just slightly behind you. It doesn't have to be a big, super far behind you, but a little bit. So we're opening up the front of the hip flexor and the front of the quad a little bit. Again, focusing a little bit into the back space. And then we're going to change direction, reach it back, and then knee behind your shoulder, up and in. Like you're saying, come on with your leg. Come on. And I'm going through that sun in that spot. We're having our second summer here. Although it's supposed to be cold and rainy on the weekend. So that's not much fun. And then come in, and I have a bunch of performances, and one is outdoor in a tent. It's supposed to be on that rainy day. Turn in, turn out. Yeah, so the O Positive Festival is happening up here in Kingston this weekend, which is a festival that helps artists get health care. So most artists don't have like adequate health care insurance, whatever it is. Roll over onto your back, and O Positive, like my band is playing in O Positive, and I'm also in this sort of all-female art choir called the Goddess Party. And so that is doing a performance, and my band is performing on 2 different days. And in return for that, I am having my teeth cleaned. So what would cost me like $300 up here to get a teeth cleaning with what's it called? X-rays is going to be my band plays, and I get it. And that's more than you usually get paid when you do a performance. Shake it out, unless you're in the big world. And let's roll it over to the other side. Coming onto your other side, bending your knees. And so this festival has become really big up here. I think in this, there's like 59 bands. There are art murals that they paint up on the walls. Like they commission artists to put up these big murals, or maybe I don't know. And I think that like, there's a big paint company that donates all the paint, and these they're like on big building side walls. So Kingston is really quite beautiful in that way. And then also there's like some movement offerings. There's even a dance thing. And change direction, go the other way. Reach it back, knee to your shoulder and in. Yeah, and then they have like, you can get Reiki or massage or different things, and they feed you, and it's a pretty groovy festival. It's run by a lot of people. It's mostly a music festival. Last one. Good. And then let's do a quick quad stretch. Take it back. Internally and externally rotate. And then take it onto your back, cross your ankle over your knee, draw it in towards you, breathe into it. And then legs up to the ceiling, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And roll yourself back and forth, rolling through your spine, massaging through your back. If it feels good and you want to take it to a plow, go for it. You can also bring it up to standing or just onto your feet. So this could just roll forward like that. And or it could go up to standing, or it could not do any of that. So really listen into your body. And if rolling forward and backward hurts, go side to side instead. Good. And let's release that. Let's come up to standing. And just breathe. Inhale, opening up. Reaching up to the ceiling, just stretch one side and stretch the other. Reaching up and down with your legs, up with your arms. Getting this elongation through each side of the body. Shake it out as you come down. Let it go. Try to relax your face, shake your butt, shake it all. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Let it go. Yeah, so sometimes I talk about resilience in your body or resilience in your nervous system being like springy bounciness, right? You have the capacity to go down, to come up, and to handle all of these shifts and changes. Like if we're rigidly walking through the middle, life is going to get a little bit more and more closed down, right? The more we narrow our perspective and the more rigid we get, the less sort of life energy we're drawing in. So springy, bouncy, letting go of tension, inviting in new energy, just let it flow, right? Let the airflow move, let the fluid flow move, let the currents and electrical flows, which we have in our body, in our heartbeat, in our nervous system, there is electrical stimulus and output happening. So we are these systems of what, earth, wind, and fire and water. All right, if you have survived the whole class on the interwebs, very good. I see there is a person there. Yeah, it's maybe Richard, who's always here early and then pops off.